What is up, Jets Nation? And welcome to the Jet Show. I am your host, Show, and today we are going to talk about a distraction. Mr. Elijah Moore, E8. But before we do that, you know what time it is, right? It's showtime. One, two, three, four. How are we doing, Jets Nation? Man, what a tremendous run that these guys are on, man. 4-2. And we're heading to Denver for a strong matchup defensive-wise. I think, in my opinion, Denver probably has the best defense in the league. If I had to say a rival to that would probably be the Buffalo Bills. So I had to say that first. I like to start off on a good positive note. And that is, again, the Jets are 4-2. We're heading to Denver with the chance to be 5-2 with the struggles of the Denver Broncos offense led by Mr. Russell Wilson. But to get into what we came here for is a bit of a dark cloud. Initially, I didn't see this one coming. Before this kickoff of the season, I was saying on every social platform, if you talk to me personally, I was saying that Elijah Moore would have a breakout year. 1,000 receptions, 11 touchdowns, easy this year. And it's not panning out that way. And looking at the stats, looking at the roster, I understand why it's not panning out to be that way. We have a lot of talent on this team. We have 5 receivers that are over 200 yards thus far. And I get that Elijah Moore is frustrated. On the live that I did, I spoke about that when asked in the chat. And my response was, I completely understand why he's frustrated. He's a talented guy, and he's a competitor by nature. He's one of the guys that we've always heard that he's always putting in the extra work. He's putting in the extra hours. He's dedicated. You know, when he exited the building, when they did the exit interview last season, Mike LaFleur publicly said he looked at him, Elijah Moore, and said, Mike, I want to be one of the best. I want to be one of the greats. And Mike LaFleur was impressed by that alone. So I get it. He's not getting, as many targets as he would like. He's not dominating the way that he would like or the way that he imagined himself to be this year. But you can't take away, Elijah Moore, the fact that your team, our team, is winning, man. You cannot take that away. And right now, you are causing a distraction amongst a group of guys who are gelling now, amongst a franchise who has struggled for X amount of years. And right now could be a great time for you to become a star. Yet instead, you choose to do what you're doing with the complaints, the asking for a trade. You're making certain people, I'm sure, in the building uncomfortable about your decisions, about what you're speaking about. But Elijah Moore last year looked phenomenal, man. He looked phenomenal. Was injured 4 to 5 games, I believe. It could be possibly more, but I think it was between 4 and 5. 2021, his receptions, he had 59 receptions. Yards, he had 741 yards and 5 touchdowns. For a guy that missed 4 to 5 games, he was on pace to have 1,000 yards. So for seeing him with 1,000 yards this year, you could see it easily. We upgraded. He's used to the system. So from a fan standpoint, yes, you want to see Elijah Moore take that next step. Yes, absolutely. But from a fan standpoint, from another perspective is, if you're asking me, does Elijah Moore or should Elijah Moore take a hit on his numbers, and that equates to the New York Jets winning, choosing that formula all freaking day, man, in opposed to the opposite. Elijah Moore does produce and have the 1,000-yard season, but the Jets have a losing record. No, I don't want that. I'm sorry, Elijah Moore, anybody else that's on that bandwagon, man, I don't want that. And I'm sure the Jets franchise don't want it either. Matter of fact, I'm 100% positive. Elijah Moore, Mr. he ate more. His first game against Baltimore, man, he had 5 receptions for 49 yards, 0 touchdowns. I wouldn't say that that's a bad game. Not far. Not at all. Second game against Cleveland, 3 receptions, 41 yards. Is that a bad game? In my book, not necessarily. Receptions against Cleveland was 4 with 49 yards. I'm still in the same book on that one. Pittsburgh, he had 3 receptions with 53 yards. Miami, he had 1 single reception for 11 yards. And the big win against Green Bay, man, at Lambeau Stadium, our guy had 0 receptions, 0 targets, obviously 0 yards with 0 touchdowns. Now, speaking of the first games collectively, he has not scored a single touchdown this entire season. We're slowly approaching to the halfway point of the season. So if you look at the numbers, you can clearly see and understand why he is frustrated. Whether he talked to them or not, maybe they told him, hey, we're going to get you more involved. We're going to get you more involved. This could have kicked off since week 3 or week 4 possibly. Who knows? But point being is, he could have spoke to them. And they could have told him that we're going to get you more involved. Did they? And if you're judging the Green Bay game, absolutely not. If you're looking at the Miami game, absolutely not. So I get it. But if you're asking me, I think, Mr. Elijah Moore, you are being a diva, sir. With all due respect. Even if you don't want to respect it. It is what it is at this point. The fans are upset. The fans are uneased about it. From Twitter, over half of the people tweeting are saying trade you or trade Elijah Moore. Get him out of here. We don't need that kind of energy here. I am one of those guys. If you don't want to be here, I'm not the type of person that forces anyone to be anywhere. But if it's on the business aspect, then I have to do what's right business-wise first. And then we'll get you out of here. So that's my take on that. But yes, Elijah Moore, I do think you're being a diva. So therefore, you have earned the cover of this year or this month's magazine with the Glam Glam. You are the cover model for the Glam Glam Diva for the month of October. Round of applause, Mr. Elijah Moore. Round of applause. You have earned this one, and you have truly, truly earned it. Now, far as what I would do, I would probably try to get a second round pick. I don't think anyone will give you a first. You may be able to get a low second round, and I'm good with that. Or maybe if I can get 2 seconds, I'll take 2 thirds. I get this year's third coming up and the following third. That's a win-win for a guy like Elijah Moore, right? Let's move on. Let's not bring this energy into the building when the guys are performing well, the guys are gelling well, etc., etc. And I'm saying to myself, the NFL gods are finally shining on the Jets. And now we have this poopy that comes out. So yeah, guys. So yes, Mr. Elijah Moore has earned the cover model for the Glam Glam Diva magazine. Round of applause once again. So I just have to chime in, guys, and give you my thoughts on where I stand with Mr. Elijah Moore. If you guys want, comment. Let me know your thoughts. I will definitely respond back to your comments. Hopefully you like this video. You love this video. You love my channel. You might even love me to a certain extent. But if you do, can you please hit the thumbs up button that gives the like? Can you comment and subscribe? Come back for more content. And I hope you guys enjoy it. On a side note here, we're going to tell you that Mr. Denzel Mims is activated. If you followed me in these beautiful last 5 to 6 months, then you know I am high on Mr. Denzel Mims. So sometimes in life, another man's trash is the next man's treasure. And that's how I'm ending this. Go Jets.